we're talking about how to set up an MLA template, but this time we're going to go a little bit deeper into Google to show you some things about Google Scholar and maybe one or two other useful things. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to go back into where we were before. In our last video, I showed you guys how to set up an MLA template, which looked like this. Okay, I took away the sources that we have right here so that I can show y'all Google Scholar better, and I also erased the stuff off that works cited page. Okay, I'm going to actually correctly put this back. Okay, so that, whoops, I did mess that up. Let me go fix it. There we go. I had that for some reason off, so that's all right. We'll fix this as well. So I'm here, okay, in Google Scholar. We're gonna center my title for that back. There we go. Okay. Now that I'm straight, we're gonna take care of it. So I'm in my MLA template and I need some research. Let's say I'm gonna stay with Shakespeare. Let's say I'm going, because that's what we did last time. With Shakespeare, I need to go on Google Scholar. And there might be some reasons why you are on Google Scholar. A lot of your papers, if you're at the college level, you're going to be asked to go into the databases, and you have access to that through Learning Commons at North Shore Tech. If you're at Southeastern, you have access to the Southeastern Library. If you're a high school student, you have access to databases through your local library, which you can probably find on the homepage for your school. Albany High School or any other high school should have a link to a system-wide library that you can use, as well as local libraries. You can use databases for free that way. But let's say you're having trouble accessing databases, and sometimes you run into that when you're off campus or at a place where for some reason there's limited access. But you need to do some research. And so you can often get to some of the same stuff. It's not perfect, but it is useful. And I'm going to show you how to do that using something called Google Scholar. A lot of folks don't realize that Google has this function to help with research, because if you were just to go look up William Shakespeare, and I can show you that now, if I go to just look up, let me take this away. I'm going to go here to, sorry guys. I'm gonna go here to, I'm gonna look up, I'm gonna go to Google. Okay. If I'm just on a regular Google platform, here is our browser, our Google browser, and I wanna look up Shakespeare. It's gonna do some helpful stuff, all those pictures and offered plays and poems, videos, all those things, but then you're gonna get the general internet of all things Shakespeare. And if you scroll down, you notice it just never ends. I'm sure there's way more than 10 pages, probably thousands. How do you know that what you're looking at is useful, right? Your teacher probably already told you that at college level or English 4 level, you're not to use Wikipedia. It's not a valid source because anybody can add. It might not be accurate. So we can't use that. So that's already one down. Then we get all this unhelpful stuff because you probably already have a topic. Okay. This might be useful, but again, not really a source. Okay. And sometimes you find some very useful things. The Shakespeare Birthplace Trust.uk is probably a verifiably good source. So sometimes you can find good sources, and other times you don't. Okay, sometimes you'll go in there and you'll find things that you're not entirely sure is a source. Goodreads is probably not the best source for this type of writing. And so this is just everything. Okay. Shakespeare's probably too easy because Google knows what people are looking for. Let's say that I'm looking for something like, I don't know, plays, type this, plays in England. Okay, that's really too broad, right? I know for a fact we're talking about Shakespeare's plays, but let's say you start your search there. That's so broad that you're not only going to get multiple places, things to buy, different types of plays that are from England, all the different theaters in England, but that's not what you're looking for, okay? So in order to combat some of this junk, because a lot of times when you search, you're going to find internet junk that you can't use. It's kind of like going into the garbage bin and trying to find out find the treasures or going to thrift stores and finding the one cool shirt in a sea of 50,000 shirts that you can't use. And this is sort of the same. You don't want to go to the general internet for academic research. You can for general knowledge, but not academic research. Okay, so we're going to change things. Instead of searching specifically here, if you just type in Google Scholar, it brings you to another side of the Google experience that you might not have known existed. Okay, it's going to look like this. You can have Google Scholar set up on a profile and everything. Okay, just to save your work. Okay, so in Google Scholar, let's say I have a topic within Shakespeare that I want to use. Let's say I want to get in Google Scholar, just like anything else. In any database, you need to get specific enough to where you're finding useful things and not wasting your time. Okay, so let's say I want to talk about, since we were on Hamlet last time, we can talk about psychology. It's a little fun, psychology in Hamlet. Okay, sure. Okay, so this is what pops up. This is a very different look than what you're used to on Google. Okay, so you can have the most recent stuff by relevance, what kind of evidence include or don't include, but yes, you do want to include citations. Okay, you can create an alert on your, if you have a year-long or semester-long class and you want to create alerts for certain things when things get published or updated, you can do that. But you can also see how it tells you on here what type of document you're getting. This is a PDF and a very general psychology of Hamlet, which you might actually find very useful, very first thing. Okay, it's searching for things that have to do with both Hamlet and psychology relating to Shakespeare. Okay, so you'll notice it's here, but you also notice that it's right here, and it tells you where it's from. Okay, if I were to open this up, okay, it's going to pull up, if I click on it, any second, Google, it's going to pull up the exact document straight to it. You don't have to go into a web page. Okay, straight to that document. One of the things that happens when you get to your document is, oh, that looks interesting. I think I might want to look here. You don't have to read everything. You can just go search a whole bunch of interesting things and go through it later. Okay, and one way to do that, you can certainly download to your computer if you'd like to save a folder like the old-fashioned way. You can save all your documents. The reason you don't want to do that is because that's time-consuming and old school. You don't have to do that anymore. This is all on the internet. Okay, so instead, I'm going to go back here and show you what we're going to do. Okay, you can also get to it here. It opens up right there as well. The reason why it has set up like this is so that you can go, oh, I like this. Oh, yeah, that's even better. This one's actually at a database at North Shore Tech. And so it'll tell you information like that. I like how it's set off this way. Okay. But also in here, you have the ability to save. Okay. So instead of printing or saving on your computer, you can save. Okay. And you can start a reading list and add that article. Okay, so we'll do this. Done. Okay. You can reach your library and your saved works, right? Obviously, I've saved some things before, but here it is right there in my reading list, The Psychology of Hamlet. Okay, so you can save stuff in Google. You don't have to download it to your computer unless you just know you're going to be offline. If you're going to be offline, you might want to actually do that. But if you know you have reliable internet access all the time, there's no reason why you can't. You can also go into a session, save a whole bunch like this, and then hit export all or archive all. Okay. So there's ways to do it efficiently. You can say, oh, I found 5 things today at the end of my session. I'm about to go home. I don't have internet at the house. I can export it all to somewhere. Okay. You can archive all. You can also certainly link it or however you want to do it. Okay. You might even label things. So there's no end to the ways that you can do this. Okay. So we'll go back to all articles. I'm going to go back. Okay. Out of my library here. Eventually. There we go. Okay. So here we are back where we originally were. If I ever want to see that again, I can just go back to my library and to my reading list and see it. If you have multiple papers going, you can certainly add lists. You can have a this Hamlet paper list, you can have a memoir paper list, you can have a, okay, science class list. You can have no end to the number of lists that you use here as well. Okay. And of course, it's going to save it because you hopefully have logged in right here and into your Google account. Okay, so that's what happens. All right, so now that we have all that, I want to show you, if you really like this article, you can find related articles. Okay. And so it kind of goes through and finds things that, oh, that's kind of what they're looking for. Well, let me go find some other stuff. Okay, so you can certainly see significance of religion in Hamlet, soliloquies and asides, no end to this stuff. Okay, if you're just talking about the ghost in your paper, okay, if you're taking one of my classes, you probably have a specific topic within Shakespeare that you're looking for because you've been asked to possibly find a topic like fencing or Ophelia's flowers or something within that you're writing your research paper on that is different from your peers. Okay, so maybe you're doing the supernatural lens in Hamlet and you're going to talk just about how the ghosts propel a plot. Okay, unveiling a dramatic secret. That sounds like a great article. Okay, and maybe you have a friend that's using it. You can send it to them, right? You can save it and send it because you know your friend's going to need that. Okay, so there's lots of reasons why you could use this stuff. All right. The other thing you see here is that it's cited by 13 people. This one's cited by 101. I don't know that that's generally as useful, but you can bet that if it's being cited, that it's useful. So let's see who's been cited. Other people have been citing it for their papers. Other abstracts and papers have been using it. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea, and it also helps you find other papers. Not only related articles, but if you find who's citing, you can find their work too. Okay, it's just another way to find more related information. We've saved it, but here's the other thing that I wanted to show you guys. If you're in Word, especially in Google, it's not such a big deal because I already showed you how to enter it on and save it there. But if you for some reason don't like that, you don't want to see that on the right side, or you're in Word, or you just want to save it differently, or you want to just see it added, tacked on as you go, you can hit this. Let's say you decided you're going to use that. If you hit the site, it gives you all of the different ways that you could write a paper, and we're in MLA, right? So we're going to Control C, that's copy, okay? Control C that, and we're going to come over here and we're going to pretend we're not using any of this, right? Let's say we decided to just do it ourselves, okay? I'm going to go and Control V, okay? You see how that's there? We've decided to use that, but you don't have a hanging indent, okay? So we're going to actually come in here and format my hanging indent. 0.5. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So now it's correctly indented. We go to our next entry. Okay. And you can do that. One of the things that happens too is in the old days, if I'm the teacher or the researcher or the publisher and I want to go look up your source, I have to go find this, right? I'd have to go to the journal. I would have to find the issue, find the volume, find the page number, flip to it, make all of that. You guys don't have to do that. You don't know how good you have it, okay? Because all you have to do is hyperlink. So you can help your professor or publisher out, right? Highlight and hyperlink, okay? To do that, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to go to it. I'm going to go back to the actual document. Okay, and I'm going to Control C. I'm going to copy that. Okay, I'm using Control C. If you like copy paste with a clicker, you can certainly do that. Control C just works for me. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to Control C. I'm going to highlight that, hit my link, Control V, and apply. Okay, now what happens? Let's go out of here. Okay, don't have it anywhere up here. You see it? I've erased it. You can't get back in. Now I can just open it. Okay, you see how that works. So this is yet another way for you to both save the documents. So let's say you, instead of keeping everything on the right here, you don't like that tool, you want to go into Google Scholar on your own and do this, you can keep a separate annotated bibliography your teacher might ask you to do. you can do this and collect everything and then erase the ones you don't need later. Okay. You can absolutely do that. And you want to make sure that at the end that it is in alphabetical order. So let's say that I'm going to go back to Google Scholar. I got to go back to Google Scholar now. I guess it's best to go to my history. That might be the easiest way to get that. I'm going to go to, well, it won't let me do it the way I wanted. So I'm going to go back to Google Scholar because it's being mean. Okay, in Google Scholar, let's say I find, I'll go back to where I was, and I want the next thing. Let's say, oh, I really, really like, there's books and stuff. You can get all kinds of stuff in here. Okay, I can go to this one here, this full text at North Shore Tech. If you can't access it at North Shore Tech, you don't have to. It's also in JSTOR, right? So let's see what happens when I hit that. Okay, I go to JSTOR online. You don't have to pay for it. Great. Sometimes you hit a paywall. You have to back out and use something else. Okay, and that's where the databases come in handy. This is a little more limited, but quicker. Okay, so the University of Illinois Press has this amazing one on Shakespeare and Elizabethan psychology that I really want to use. Here's the whole thing. I don't want to read it right now though, right? I just want to save it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the same way, right? I can go back and cite it. So I'm gonna go back over here, hit my cite button, MLA, Control C, and copy that right back in, right? And right, I want to hyperlink it again so that it's easy to find. So I'm going to go back into it and grab it. Control C, link it, Control V, apply. Okay. You can always check your link, make sure it works. Voila. There it is. Okay. So you can save it for later. You can erase them if you don't ever need them, but if you decide that you want to use it, right? You're just going to have, you didn't keep it right here, so you're going to have to do your in-text citations on your own. It means you're going to have to know how to do that, right? The other thing that you can do is once you have them here and you've collected everything, you can go back into tools and citations, right? Add a citation source and go to journal article on a website and punch all this in. And then it will do all that. But that's a lot of extra work. So if you're going to do it this way, you're just going to have to know that we're using, this is her quote or paraphrase. We're just going to do Cameron, page 4. Okay. I don't know why I put it. Okay. You just have to know how to do it. Okay. And that'll be for another day, showing you how to do that. Okay. This gets you started. So if you prefer to do it this way, you can. You just want to double check. I'm going to move this because you need to double check that this is in alphabetical order at the end, right? Now it is. Okay, so you might have to move things around a little bit. But this is also in perfect MLA format as well. Okay. And so that shows you how to do Google Scholar. If you are interested in going a little bit further, you can certainly contact me about that and let me know if you need help. My email address, hopegraham@northshorecollege.edu, or you can ask your teacher who would be happy to help you with this as well. See you guys next time. And the next time I talk to y'all, we are going to talk a little bit deeper about MLA and resources to help you with MLA formatting at Purdue OWL. So talk to y'all later. Bye.